bring the mic closer to me. I want to talk into the mic. So, gotta work my mic into a shot more. This is an article, Guardian, out of Zimbabwe. More than 160 elephants die in Zimbabwe, with many more at risk. Drought in Wing National Park was the cause of most of the deaths, and wildlife experts fear the climate crisis could make such events normal. At least 160 elephants have died as drought conditions hit Zimbabwe, and with hot, dry weather likely to continue, conservationists fear there will be more deaths to come. The elephants died between August and December last year in the 14,651 square kilometer Wang National Park. It is home to endangered elephants, buffaloes, lions, cheetah, giraffe, and other species. At least 600 elephants have recently been discovered dead outside the park in suspected poaching incidents. Let's start with the biggest issue here. Is the amount of elephants that are suffering. Elephants have their own agenda. They have their own families, their own culture. Spend a lot of time watching elephants, but see it. But you can also see them panic. They know a drought when they fail to find water in due time. The elephants that died were mostly young, old, or sick, the park said. Consistent dry weather, droughts, and prolonged dry periods are intensifying across southern Africa. 2023, there was no rainfall between February and November in the Wing National Park. Whoa. Whoa. A lot of grasses that aren't coming back. There's a lot of trees that aren't getting their leaves shooting out. Almost a whole year without rain. There was low nutrition, very high temperatures, and a shortage of water. Contributed to massive stress. It might happen again in 2024. National Oceanic Atmosphere. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, forecasts a strong El Nino weather phenomenon between October and this March, resulting in hot, dry weather and little rainfall. There was no rainfall between February and November of 2023 in this national park, National Reserve, National Park. The elephants, they've known the lack of water. Elephants find water. Out of any species in here that could find water, it would be an elephant. It would find the sandy bed of a river. It would find the sandy bed of a river. They would use their trunks to get through and eventually find water deep below. When elephant trunks are given the right amounts of pressure, such as when they're almost drilling down into the ground for water, their trunks can extend dramatically since they have anywhere between 60 to 80,000 muscles alone their trunk. It is of great sadness to see so many elephants die out of a drought. It seems humans do so much to try to give water to the animals by making these artificial dams. I'm not saying this is an artificial dam. There are a lot of them in South Africa. And they're not without rain. They don't fill up. Without rain, there is no water in these dams. And these elephants, buffalo, even lions, cheetah, all these animals will find the same water source and use it. It isn't just an elephant problem, but they are an indicator, a species of great calamity ahead, especially when you have so many dying all within a rapid amount of time of the same vicinity. They first found by the close of 2023, it said the greater part of Zimbabwe had received less than 50% of the seasonal accumulated rainfall compared to the long-term average. Conservation groups in Wang are now rushing to drill more boreholes in a bid to spread the elephants out into areas where food is more readily available. There are also solar-powered systems on existing boreholes to extend pumping hours to meet the expected pressure in the hot season from August. We are aware that we might have an El Nino and a big drought in 2024. We will see what we can do to mitigate that. Will just be survival of the fittest. If there's another drought, we'll have to go for this. Droughts have caused mass die-offs of elephants in Zimbabwe before. In 2019, more than 200 died. 2 months. The lack of water. Now, this isn't just a lack of water, but skin. Water elephants need to cover their skin. Mud to block a lot of that direct heat from the sun. Also, for bugs and other things like that, suffocate them, get them stuck in the mud. Mud falls off, they fall off. They also, water is such a huge way of life for elephants. They play in it, they wrestle each other in it. It's a territory for them to be king to their elephants. They all duck each other into the water. Do something else. Play. Pool party. When there is no water, no fruit, no leaves, no grasses, elephants wasting away. It doesn't take more than a few days of not eating for an elephant to waste away. It's not like lions. Lions can go 3 weeks without eating. They are perfect predator. Go weeks without eating meat. But when they do eat meat, they can put down, a male lion can put down 100 pounds of meat in one sitting. Elephants require 800 pounds, up to 800 pounds of wet food each day. They have not the best and most robust digestive system. What comes out of them is always poorly digested. You see it a lot with the fruit that they eat isn't very digested. They're not a species that ruminates. Elephants, they just have a mouth, they have a nose, teeth. The teeth for elephants is probably one of the biggest indicators of age. You see elephants at 50 to 60 years old start losing their teeth. That's it. Not able to eat and drink the same way as before. One huge way that elephants drink and get fluids by tearing off the bark off trees, taking this transport layer that is between that is underneath the bark. That is so much water inside that, and they'll put it in their mouth and they'll roll it around and they'll chew on it. They have big teeth. When they don't have the teeth to be able to crunch, mush all their food down, not able to swallow their food any longer. So they die from a lack of eating due to their teeth falling out. There's a problem with elephants. Their teeth fall out, that's really it once they're adults. Veterinarians and conservationists involved in weighing said that elephants initially died in a cluster around one of the most used water points in the park. Later, deaths became widespread and were not appearing in clusters, they said. Another conservationist said that during one count in September, more than 1,800 elephants were trying to drink from a single water source. If each elephant has the ability to put a fire hose of pressure, they're trying to just suck up mud. They're not getting water. Either it's muddy or it's a sandy river. They're trying to get underneath, but when it's muddy, mud just keeps accumulating. They can't really bore through that themselves the way that they could if it were drier. But when it's muddy, it's disastrous because they get stuck, especially when they're young and weak. The big problem is if there were muddy areas that these elephants were trying to drink from, trying to get some kind of moisture out of the mud, because elephants do not drink using their trunks. They drink using their mouths. They don't drink using your nose. Oh, they do. They hold the water inside their nose, and they have lots of hairs that will be able to filter it better. So they can take in water and spray it and cleanse their trunk out. And also spray water out at really incredible velocities. Cause it to arc, get their backside. When there is little water, elephants are in a panic, especially forest elephants. Other elephants as well. The Zimbabwe parks confirmed the 6 deaths of elephants and said veterinarians were still investigating their cause. Environmental groups say the tusk has been removed from eating ivory poaching. Bushmeat poaching. People are getting desperate, resorting to the poaching of wildlife. Their desperation, animals try to drink from the mud, and the smaller ones get stuck. Workers in weighing were able to free this juvenile elephant. You see his back leg. It's like a man in a suit, in a winged suit. Little wing right here they have. Now, elephant ears aren't for swimming as much as they are for cooling their entire bodies down. Every time they woof, woof, their ears are full of blood, and that blood is being fanned, recirculated back into their body. They really are an amazing creature. It is sad to see so many perish. So many more probably meeting the same fates. They start spreading looking for food and water. Seeing that elephants need 600 to 800 pounds of wet food each day, 50 gallons of water. The amount of stresses they go through is pretty immediate when they realize that they're running low on food and water, because they will start competing. Elephants are very, very strong. These are very brutal survival of the fittest, and that is not even the correct terms. Survival of the fittest doesn't mean because the drought and these animals survived, they're the fittest. No, they survived, therefore they are the fittest. The only ones that survived. Not saying anything special besides they survived the drought. Doesn't give any benefits to the species as well overall. They start losing a lot of elephants that are in herds. They start panicking and start spreading out. Male elephants, us, confused, not able to really get a grip on the situation. They or their faces are leaking. Surge and bushmeat poaching countrywide. This is a new, different way that I'm covering breaking stories regarding the environment and our six mass extinction. Not us, just everything around us. We said elephants communicate using infrasound. The feel with their feet, communicate back. They don't need to use their tusks to communicate. Sorry, they don't need to use their trunks to communicate. They communicate using their feet. So, elephants spreading out looking for food and water, they would be able to inform the rest of their herd, rest of their pack of food and water, which is probably a reason why 1,800 elephants on one watering hole at one time. 90,000 gallons of water that those elephants would drink during that one day. And those are just the elephants. They're not the ones constantly coming back and forth. Zimbabwe is in trouble. Not for wildfires, but I believe I had wildfire in Zimbabwe before. This is a result of plant annihilation that we see alongside man and wildlife conflict. Start running out of wild. Wild is where things evolve. The wild, where things learn to be what they are. An elephant does not learn how to be an elephant from being in a zoo. An elephant needs to be shown how to be an elephant. Older male elephants typically, they are of age, which is around 15 years old. Elephants don't disperse, as the males at least, until they're about 15 years old. They don't start reproducing until they're about 30. You take away a huge collection of elephants out of this park, you take a lot away from their culture. Elephants, they need big, grown, strong adult male. Tell the other male elephants how to be. There are a lot of changes going on in their body, and they need someone to help them explain it. It's called must. It's their psychotic horniness. I don't know how else to really put it, but they're on the hunt for breeding herd. They know that's where there's going to be a lot of females. The females aren't exactly going to leave the situation because they're going to know the male elephant knows female elephants are tied to the young elephant. They're not just going to leave them and run away from the elephants. So the elephants can take advantage of that. I'm not saying they reproduce, they procreate, but they will bother the living hell out of a breeding herd of the older of age uh, elephants. Also, they'll harm the smaller elephants as well in an attempt to hold back, hold like, okay, assert your dominance to breeding herd. It's insanity. When they're in must, they're not all there. Faces, they're leaking out of their face. Not like in this picture, these fur droppings. It'd be more like in the side of their cheek right here, and drop that comes. Imagine, actually, buffaloes, they require a lot of water. They love to submerge themselves in. Lions and cheetah, they require a lot of water, but lions and cheetah and leopards drink blood. Different than having to always find a watering hole. They can just antelope. All these carcasses, well, these elephant carcasses, they'll be going to the vultures. Maybe hyena, maybe other animals take advantage of the situation. Not just carcasses everywhere. Sounds like it is right now. If elephants are suffering such mass amounts, then their animals should be, because hyena, they like to take a bath as well. They like to around. Hyena, what they also do, they will hide their food or carcass in a puddle of water. They can smell it. They know where it is. They know that other animals aren't going to be able to find it because they're not going to look and they can't smell it. Elephants can smell genocide. Indicator species is so much. To have so many perish. Terrible awakening. They assert the position that elephants should be given some type of personhood. It's well researched. You just elephants for watch elephants for hours a day. Might not move much sometimes, but it's what they do and how they sound and what they do. They greet each other. They clasp each other's trunks. And for that kind of handshake, for elephants to grab each other's trunks, wrap it around, 60 to 80,000 muscles they're using to communicate with. There are things in this world that we're still uncertain about much speculation from viewing. One thing is that elephants communicate in completely unique ways that are alien to us. They need to be protected as a very special species in particular because of their ivory tusks or just teeth and fingernails. People are killing these things for teeth and fingernails. Not when you say ivory, it makes it sound special. Ivory, just fingernails. They don't regrow, unlike rhino horns, which do regrow. They're constantly. It's be heavy to see so many elephants perish. Thank you for watching and listening. If you could, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out immensely.